You already know fake news is a problem. What you might not fully appreciate is how much of it is being manufactured, amplified, and occasionally fought back against by algorithms you interact with every single day, often without realizing it. This is How Algorithms Create and Prevent Fake News by Noah Giansiracusa. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it was published by Apress in 2021. The author holds a PhD in mathematics from Brown University and is a professor of mathematics. The fact that he's a mathematician who can actually write in plain English is, as Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Romer puts it in his endorsement, something of a joy. This book is structured as 9 chapters, each tackling a different piece of the algorithmic ecosystem, and the chapter titles alone tell you a lot about the tone. We have Perils of Page View, Deepfake Deception, Autoplay, The Autocrats, Gravitating to Google. The author clearly enjoys a good alliterative title, and the chapters live up to their names. So what does the book actually cover? A lot. On the creation side, how AI can now generate convincing news articles, headlines, and even synthetic journalists, thanks to language models. How deep fakes have done to video what Photoshop did to images, made manipulation cheap, fast, and increasingly indistinguishable from reality. How YouTube's recommendation algorithm learned to string together conspiracy content into compelling rabbit holes, and how Facebook's news feed turned engagement into its own form of editorial judgment, with predictably chaotic results. How advertising incentives quietly shape what gets written and what gets amplified, and how Google search, despite its reputation as a neutral oracle, is anything but. On the prevention side, and this is where the book fully earns its title, the author surveys the emerging tools and techniques being developed to detect fake news, verify images, flag AI-generated text, and automate fact-checking at scale. The final chapter, Tools for Truth, functions as almost a reference guide to what's currently available and what researchers are working on. Throughout, the approach is accessible, no coding knowledge required, no background in data science assumed. The author walks you through how these algorithms actually work at a conceptual level, which gives the book a useful edge over journalism that describes the effects without explaining the machinery. The honest drawback is that some readers, particularly those with a technical background, will find the explanations a little thin. It's broad rather than deep, which is a reasonable trade-off for a general audience, but worth knowing before you buy. That said, for business leaders, students, educators, curious non-technologists, or anyone who wants to understand why their information environment looks the way it does, this is a sharp, well-organized, and genuinely illuminating guide. I enjoyed it. The problem it describes has only grown more urgent since 2021, which means the book has aged into relevance rather than out of it. Recommend.